Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy stumping for Donald Trump. All right, so President Donald Trump. I really don't like saying President Donald Trump. I really don't respect that man, but he earned that title, and he has a right to it. So I try to every president. That's another thing. So we're going to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy stumping for Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. But I got a few things I'm gonna say here. So one, I really dislike President Donald Trump. I feel like he's just an evil man. He's an evil man going about evil acts, right? Like I just have zero respect for him. Well, worse than zero respect. I'm alarmed by him. I feel like a rabbit around a wolf, right? He's a very dangerous person. And just to be clear, you guys should understand this. If virtually every word out of somebody's mouth is a lie, they're very dangerous. That's a danger. And that's not me saying, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. Donald Trump said he's a liar. He wrote it in Art of the Deal. Just read the book, right? And this is another thing, right? I think why people don't get who Donald Trump is. They haven't read Donald Trump on Donald Trump, right? I'm not saying Donald Trump is a liar. Donald Trump said he's a liar, a lot. Says, and not like, oh, I lie a little. I lie constantly, near constantly, and certainly at the most important times, right? He is a very dangerous man. Okay, let's get there. All right. So, but he earned that title of president, and I want to talk about this, right? So, what if Donald Trump wins and becomes president, right? You'll hear a lot of talk people saying, "Oh, I'm moving to Canada." Scott Garibay ain't never moving to Canada, right? I want a nation that has a reserve of gasoline, not a nation that has a reserve of maple syrup, right? I live in an epic nation. I ain't never gonna move to a non-epic nation, right? You can put me in a pine box before I desert America. I will never leave this country, period. This is the greatest country in the world. I'm incredibly fortunate to be born here, and I ain't never leaving it, right? Done, okay? Next, not my president. You'll hear Americans say that. That's not my president, right? That's a bunch of crap, right? Donald Trump is an evil, evil man, right? And if he gets elected, he's going to be my president. And the reason why is I'm an American, right? And it's on me to convince the other Americans to elect the right person. And if I don't do that, that's my failure. If President Donald Trump gets elected, that is because I failed to convince the rest of Americans to vote for a person who actually believes that people of all color are of the same value and are all humans, right? That's all. That is a task that is on me to accomplish. All right. Okay. All right. So even if this evil, evil man becomes our president again, and I didn't vote for him, right? And I didn't vote for him, it's still my responsibility because it's my responsibility to fix the problem. Okay. And why is that? Because leaders fix problems that don't belong to them. That's literally the definition of what a leader does. All right. Okay. So let's get they fix problems that are affecting their people, even if they didn't cause that problem. Okay. All right, so let's go. And I am a leader in America. Period. I'm absolutely a leader. I wouldn't have this channel and take the time to commentate on politics if I didn't think I didn't know more than the vast majority of Americans on politics. All right, and that's not me saying, oh, I know a little bit more. I have a degree in it. I literally know more. I have a degree in political science. All right, okay. So let's get going here. All right, what are we looking at with Vivek Ramaswamy stumping for President Donald Trump? So first of all, this is a historical day, right? Happened on January 16th. Let's remember that 2024. Let's remember that date. It is historically important, and something changed in the world on that day. Look, and also, I apologize to you. This video is 24 hours too late. I should have put this video up yesterday. Why didn't I? Because I'm a Christian husband and a father, and what you're looking at is literally a amateur political commentator, right? I am an amateur, right? And so I am a Christian, a husband, and a father, and I have responsibilities and duties, and those come first, right? So I really wish I'd been able to put this up sooner, right? So, but, like I said, I put it up as soon as I can. And this is huge. And the reason why is, I've been covering Vivek Ramaswamy, and this is a massive moment in the history of Vivek Ramaswamy and in the history of America. It's not a massive moment in the history of President Donald Trump. That guy attempted an insurrection, in my humble opinion. So this is like a Tuesday for him, right? If you If you stood in the White House and was like, am I going to become America's first dictator? Like, then this really isn't a big deal for you, right? So, but for me it is, for you it is, for VIVEK it is, and for America as a whole it is. But for a man who is 1 centimeter away from who literally chose whether he would be a dictator or not, it's not a big deal. All right, that's again one of the reasons why I really dislike President Donald Trump. All right, let's get all the way there. All right, what's happening? And also let's talk about just the history that we're looking at. On January 15th, Vivek Ramaswamy said, after incredible attempts to be your president, I have realized that the Republican Party has, I'm paraphrasing. I think this is what he actually said. He said a bunch of blah, blah, blah words that, you say whenever you're, whenever you lose the Iowa caucus. And again, you're like, oh, how often do people lose the Iowa caucus? Every 4 years, man. Like, I've heard this speech a lot of times, right? So he said a bunch of blah, blah, blah. But what was he saying between the lines, right? And what he was saying between the lines was like, the Republicans will never elect a person of color, right? And I think Vivek understood that, and that's why he quit, right? Like, and I understand that, right? I think right now we're at a point right now where the macro Republican, the 51% Republican, if you take all the Republicans and boil them down to one person, that macro Republican is a hyper prejudiced hate monger. That's just where we're at, right? And you're like, no, Scott, I don't think that's correct. Listen, your number one candidate is openly quoting the World War II mustache man, right? Like, this is not a debatable reality element, in my opinion. All right, okay, all right, let's keep going. All right, so Vivek quits on January 15th. On January 16th, right? He's no longer in Iowa. He got on a plane and got himself to New Hampshire, and he's stumping for President Donald Trump, right? What the heck is happening? How is Vivek Ramaswamy stumping? How is Vivek Ramaswamy, a good man, stumping for an evil man? I'm going to tell you. Operation Freedom Flip. So right now you are looking at 00 Vivek. He is a secret spy on a secret mission to save America. Okay? Vivek Ramaswamy is a good man. And I can tell you right now, when he stood next to, I saw the tape, you saw the tape, right? There's Vivek saying, look, everybody, this is our next president. Like, Donald Trump's not an evil monster fanged lizard person. Right? Like, he's great. Right? Like, I saw it, you saw it, right? So what's happening? How does a good man stand next to an evil man, point to him and say, this is a good man? Right? I'll tell you how. Vivek Ramaswamy is no longer a presidential candidate. Vivek Ramaswamy is Agent 00 Vivek, right? That is a super spy on a super secret mission. What is the super secret mission? To take the only chance left to give America a good man as a president, right? And what is that? Well, it's Operation Freedom Flip, okay? What is Operation Freedom Flip, Scott? Well, President Donald Trump is a cardboard candidate. He's a sarcophago candidate. He has I have an angel on one shoulder and an imp on the other shoulder, right? And a little demon on the other shoulder, right? So do you, right? Not President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump has 2 fathers on his shoulder, Father Time and Father Crime. And they're not giving him good information. They're saying, I will take you. They're whispering it every minute of his life, right? Father Time is saying, you are trying to do the experiment again. 80-year-old president, hospice leadership, hospice president. 80-year-old presidents are hospice presidents. We have one right now, President Biden. He's a centimeter away from death. They prop him up every day with whatever is needed to be put into his veins to keep him alive. You'll be the same. But I'll take you. I'll take you in year 1 or year 2 or year 3 or year 4. I will take you. Father Time stands on President Donald Trump's shoulders, right? And he says, I will take you. And Vivek knows it. And Vivek's like, oh my gosh, if I can fool that old man into thinking I'm his friend and he makes me his VP, Father Time will take him and America will have a good man as president. What do I need to do that? I need to pretend that he's not a horrible monster human and say good things about him because that's the only people he keeps around. So I need to transform myself into Vivek, from Vivek Ramaswamy, Harvard tech genius, to double O Vivek. And I need to pretend that this is not a horrible monster human. And I need to do everything possible to give the chance that I will be his VP. And he has a chance. He has a chance of being his VP. I don't think it's a lock, but he has a chance. And so Vivek Ramaswamy is right now shooting the gap, shooting the gap, shooting the gap to give us a chance to have a good president with the freedom flip. What about the other person on President Donald Trump's shoulder? Father Crime. Okay? I don't think President Donald Trump has really committed any crimes, right? I don't think he really has. I don't think he's committed any crimes, right? So how could Father Crime take Donald Trump to a place where there are iron bars, and he would no longer be able to be president because he literally couldn't sign a document because he's in prison? Well, that's a good question, and I'll answer the question for you. All right, let's talk about Father Crime. All right. So Father Crime. So how would Father Crime take a man who's never committed any crimes? Well, here's how. I don't think President Trump has really ever committed any crimes, right? What he does is he does evil every single day, right? And perception, and President Donald Trump understands this. In America, there's extremely little difference between reality and perception often becomes reality, right? So the reality is, I don't think President Trump, I think he's really good at doing stuff that is 1 centimeter away from a crime, but never a crime. He knows the law, and he's really good at being sneaky and horrible. And I don't think he never really does crime. But Father Crime is on his shoulder, right? Why? Because he does evil every day, right? And people are like, oh my gosh, there's all those evil acts. You're a criminal. And they're wrong. He's not a criminal, but he looks like a criminal because he does evil constantly, right? Constantly. He just does horrible, evil things, right? Like all the time, right? And so Father Crime is there, is like, you've done so much and so many things that look like crimes that I think one of them is going to get you. And you're good at dodging them, 99 chance out of 100. But the problem is there's 300 days in a year. And that means 3 times a year I get a chance to put you in prison. Not because you deserve it, but just because you look like you deserve it. Father Crime. And so he's got Father Time on the one shoulder saying, hey, you're an 80-year-old president. This, just like running for president gave Bernie a heart attack. Being president for the second time is going to give you a heart attack, right? Like, and take you, right? And so I really think Father Time is perfectly positioned to take Donald Trump if the Republicans decide to repeat this horrible failed experiment of 80-year-old president, of hospice president, right? And I think it will. I think with his old age, being the second 80-year-old president, and with all the stressors that President Donald Trump has, I think there's no possibility he will live through his term. And I think there's strong evidence of this. Bernie Sanders, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Mitch McConnell, and Dianne Feinstein are all like, oh yeah, there's no possibility an 80-year-old president lives through. No way. Right? So Vivek's like, Operation Freedom Flip. If Father Time takes him, I'm there, and America gets a good man as a president rather than an evil monster human. And if Father Crime takes him, puts him in prison, I'm there. America gets a good man as a president, right? And so, and you're like, well, wait a second, does that mean he's lying? Well, I get where you're coming from, but was 007 lying when he sneaks into the evil supervillain's base and pretends to be, and puts on a guard uniform? That's up to you, right, to say if he's lying or not, right? I don't believe he believes anything he's saying about Donald Trump, right? I don't believe anybody who says anything good about Donald Trump believes any of it, right? They're doing it because they can benefit. Most people do it because they can benefit from it. Vivek is doing it for you and me. Vivek is pretending that Donald Trump is a good human being in order to give America one more chance to have a good president. So Vivek's back in the mix, baby. There's until Donald Trump declares his VP, there's a chance you and I are going to get Vivek Ramaswamy as a president, and he is a good man, and he will be a good president. Understand what he's doing right now is Operation Freedom Flip. Father Time or Father Crime will take him, and he will be there to take over the position. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.